Coming up on NT Daily News, a former Fort Worth police officer was arrested and charged with the murder of a black woman in her own home. We'll tell you what the police chief had to say about it today.
Plus, Denton DWI arrests are up 87%.
And we'll tell you what company invested over $35 billion into the future of automotives.
From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
I too am frustrated and disappointed by what occurred and the officer's actions. We never want an officer's response to a call to end in the loss of life.
That was Ed Cross, Fort Worth interim police chief, and press conference held this morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Raylon Moore.
And I'm Takori Antilli. Cross said there is no excuse for an officer who shot a woman in her own home this weekend. Aaron Dean, the now former Fort Worth police officer who had only been on the force for 18 months, is now out on bail. Dean is charged with the murder of the death of 28-year-old Tatiana Jefferson. Video shows Dean scoping out Jefferson's home after a neighbor called and asked for a welfare check because she noticed the front door was open. The video shows Dean, without any identification, fired his weapon through a window, killing Jefferson in front of her 8-year-old nephew. After the police news conference, the family of the victim held one of its own. NT Daily's Jeremy Beetling was there. He joins us live from the house where the shooting happened.
This is where Tatiana Jefferson was shot and killed this past weekend by a Fort Worth police officer. As you can see behind me, there is a vigil set up with balloons and stuffed animals in support of the Jefferson family. Early in the day, I was at a press conference at Tarrant County Courthouse. Members of the Black Caucus of Texas joined Jefferson's family and their attorney to speak up on the issue of police violence. They voiced concern on how the Fort Worth Police Department handled what started out as a welfare check. This came an hour after interim police chief Ed Cross gave his condolences at his press conference, in which he apologized for the actions of Officer Aaron Dean. But attorney Lee Merritt says they don't want apologies, they want action.
They haven't had an opportunity to grieve because they had to fight immediately. And that's because the state of our laws in this country tells them, more often than not, the person that executed their loved one will not face a proper punishment.
Merritt, along with the members of the Black Caucus, say this is not a problem with one officer, but a problem rooted in the structure of the police departments and the criminal justice system. Reporting live in Fort Worth, I'm Jeremy Beedling, NT Daily News.
Tatiana Jefferson's death has damaged the sense of security for many people of color, including those in North Texas. Cameron Combs, president of the Black Student Union at UNT, says he believes the death of Jefferson has stripped the feeling of safety away from the last place many people of color had left.
It makes me feel scared, I mean, honestly, because, you know, at first it was our schools, and then it was a movie theater, or well, I believe first maybe it was the movie theaters, then schools, and then our church, and so now it's our home, and so it's like, you know, where we feel safe and we can be safe and be, you know, away from the outside world.
The shooting happened less than 10 days after Dallas police officer Amber Geiger was sentenced for another high-profile officer-involved shooting.
Police are still looking for a murder suspect after a stabbing in Denton this weekend. NT Daily's Van Malone is here to tell us how this stabbing affected people who worked nearby. Van?
I talked to a guy who heard the sirens when police responded.
So it hit close to home. The stabbing happened a little after 7:30 Saturday night on East McKinney Street. According to police, when officers arrived, they found the victim with a stab wound, and he was transported to a local hospital where he later died. Detectives are investigating, but at this time, they haven't named any suspects. According to the LexisNexis crime statistics map, this is the third homicide in Denton this year.
I didn't know what was going on other than the chaos from all that, and basically just heard it was a stabbing and someone died from it, and that I hate to hear because of what's going on in society right now. A lot of people dying for no reason.
Police say there's no immediate threat to the public. Van Malone, NT Daily News.
Denton PD is cracking down on DWIs and trying to keep our streets as safe as possible. Since last year alone, Denton PD's driving while intoxicated arrests have skyrocketed 87%. Bar employees all over the city communicate with each other through a Facebook page where the post updates for people have been, Facebook page where the post updates on people they've seen stumble around the bar or look like they've reached their limit and shouldn't be served anymore.
So it usually starts at the door. I work security here as well. So if someone looks overserved, if someone's stumbling, slurring their words, we don't let them in. We're pretty adamant about that. In general, once they are in the bar though, it's the protocol is like no more. You're not really supposed to take more than a drink an hour. You're not supposed to be slamming shots back to back to back, and we don't really let that happen.
Denton County has the 10th highest record for DWI charges in the state, according to the Texas Department of Safety.
A nonprofit CEO claims Texas House of Representatives Speaker Dennis Bonnen offered him something in exchange for targeting GOP candidates in the 2020 primaries. Michael Sullivan is the CEO of Empower Texans, a nonprofit that promotes fiscal conservatism and holding elected officials accountable. Sullivan says the speaker offered media credentials to the next legislative session for Sullivan's website if it would target several GOP opponents. Empower Texans released this recording of the exchange.
Hey, let me tell you what I'll do. Well, so real quick, you need to hear what I want to do. Okay. I don't need anything. Well, no, you did. You did. If we can make this work, I'll put your guys on the floor next session.
Bonnen released an official statement about the allegations this morning. It says, "I have repeatedly called for the recordings to be released because it would be immediately clear that no laws were broken. This was nothing more than a political discussion. The problem is that I had it with that guy. My colleagues have always deserved the facts and context this recording provides, and with clear evidence now disproving allegations of criminal wrongdoing, the House can finally move on." The full recording of the meeting can be found online at WBAP.com.
Hyundai is the latest car company to announce a huge investment in electric cars. The South Korean company says it will spend $35 billion developing the technology by 2025. That puts it on par with companies like Volkswagen, which is investing $35 billion. South Korea's government says it wants to become the number one country for car competitiveness by 2030. It is spending almost $2 billion in government money to help jumpstart the industry. Car makers across the globe are working to design and develop electric vehicle fleets. It's less clear how self-driving technology is going too far when it hits the streets.
The Democratic primary is making a trip to Ohio this week. Find out more about the debates when we come back.
He was a skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy," when she hit me with her car and killed me. As a licensed driver, it's your responsibility to share the road with people who may be on the sidewalk, on the bike lanes, on the road itself, whether they're walking, skating, biking, hydroplaning, hydroflasking, hyperboarding, whatever. It's important to give people 3 to 6 feet of clearance room on either side, so we're all a little bit safer. It's your responsibility to share the road.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers, but you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Presidential candidates will take the stage in Ohio. Democrats want to turn Ohio blue after Donald Trump won the state in the 2016 election, though the state did vote for Barack Obama before that. New polls show Elizabeth Warren is leading the Democratic field. Another state Democrats would love to turn blue is Texas, but thanks to a new law, one Texas county might limit voting booths where lots of young voters previously cast their ballots. I spoke with Tarrant County residents to see how they felt about Tarrant County removing some polling locations. Thousands of voters used college campuses across Tarrant County to cast their votes during the 2018 midterm election. But now, thanks to Texas House Bill 1888, people will have to find somewhere else to vote. This bill, which went into effect September 1st, requires that all temporary polling sites must be turned into permanent locations, something that costs both time and money. As a result, Tarrant County election officials said college campuses in the area will not host voting booths.
I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked because now I have to figure out where I'm going to go. Then I may have to sit in long lines as opposed to when I get to TCC. They had a really, really good system in place.
During the 2018 midterm elections, more than 2,000 students cast their votes at the University of Texas at Arlington, while over 1,000 more voted across Tarrant County community colleges. But now, thanks to the new law, students will have to find somewhere else to vote, an idea that some are not happy about.
I feel like in a way it's a disservice to us because we have people who come on campus and who promote like getting registered to vote. At the same time, we can't vote on campus.
In a county where Beto O'Rourke narrowly beat Senator Ted Cruz by 4,300 votes, this could be big during the presidential race. But not only does it affect students, it also impacts residents who voted on campuses because of their convenience.
I think that it's going to deter some people, unfortunately. I think the convenience of being able to go straight to TCC, to one location, is going to now deter those that have to find that location.
While this decision is not final yet, I spoke with someone at the Tarrant County Elections Office who said it's very unlikely they will have those campuses as polling location. Tarrant County residents can go to access.tarrantcounty.com to find a polling location near them.
When we come back, learn more about Hunter Biden's response to the allegations brought on by President Trump.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
The Trump-Biden saga continues this week as the former vice president's son broke his silence to defend his actions. President Trump alleges Biden acted improperly while serving on the board of a Ukrainian gas company. His request for an investigation into the Biden to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is fueling the impeachment inquiry against him. Hunter Biden spoke with ABC News and acknowledges a possible lapse in judgment, but insists there is no ethical violation.
Felt just a little bit in your gut, like maybe this isn't a good idea to go and sit on the board of this Ukrainian company.
I said to you, in retrospect, I wish that my judgment.
Time, you never thought this might not look right.
You know what? I'm a human. And you know what? Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But did I make a mistake based upon some unethical lapse? Absolutely not.
Biden admits he likely got the job due to his last name, but claims his work history and qualifications are justification for his hiring.
New developments in the impeachment investigation. A congressional committee is weighing whether to question former National Security Advisor John Bolton as part of its inquiry. This comes after damning testimony from a former Russian advisor, Suzanne Maklova reports.
What's your message to congressional investigators today?
Fiona Hill testifying for nearly 10 hours behind closed doors on Capitol Hill, providing House Democrats with more information for their impeachment inquiry into President Trump's Ukraine scandal.
When witnesses actually just show up, it advances our investigation. The arrows continue to point in just one direction.
The president's former top Russia advisor telling Congress she raised red flags, concerned about wrongdoing in U.S. foreign policy toward Ukraine. One of her biggest issues? Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani's involvement. And she reportedly shared other concerns with former National Security Advisor John Bolton, sources tell CNN. Hill describing a meeting attended by Bolton and U.S. Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland. The meeting on July 10th, just 15 days before Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president. A source telling CNN, Hill said Sondland discussed investigations at that meeting, interpreted as a reference to President Trump's call to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son. Hill discussing what she called a rogue operation carried out by Sondland and acting chief of staff Mick Mulvaney. A source telling CNN she said Bolton characterized it as being like a drug deal, urging Hill to report the July meeting to the National Security Council's attorney. In another conversation, a source familiar with the testimony says Hill claimed Bolton expressed disregard for Giuliani. As first reported by the New York Times, Bolton describing him as a hand grenade who's going to blow everybody up. Maryland Democrat Jamie Raskin slamming Giuliani's actions, saying he's working against the State Department.
Rudy Giuliani has clearly been a leading force for the administration in defining a shadow foreign policy in Ukraine.
House Republicans taking President Trump's lead, focusing on attacking House Intelligence Chair Adam Schiff's handling of the impeachment inquiry.
This was another day in Adam Schiff's kangaroo court. The Democrats should provide Republicans and the president exactly what they would insist if the roles were reversed.
Sources say Michael McKinley, a former State Department advisor who resigned just last week, will testify Wednesday. Ambassador Sondland is scheduled to testify on Thursday.
President Trump issued new sanctions against Turkey as the country continued its military operation into northern Syria. Trump's intent for the new sanctions is to hurt Turkey economically, but so far it hasn't had much effect. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad said they will continue to move north as a result of the U.S. abandoning the Kurds. Vice President Pence is expected to visit Turkey.
California's Bay Area experienced an earthquake strong enough for people more than 150 miles to feel the shaking. The 4.5 magnitude quake happened at 10:33 last night. The rattling was enough to knock items off store shelves, but no injuries or serious damage has been reported. It was immediately preceded by a smaller 2.5 earthquake, and several minor aftershocks followed. The presidents of Japan are dealing with the aftermath of one of the most destructive storms in the nation's history. The death toll from Typhoon Hagibis is now at least 72, according to Japan's public broadcaster. A massive search and rescue operation remains underway, with 14 people still missing. The monster storm brought record-setting rain and wind, resulting in flooding and landslides. More than 100,000 police, fire, and other workers are involved in the rescue and cleanup efforts.
Stick around to learn more about North Texas's all-inclusive children's playground.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. It's going to get wet. All right, here we go. Go, bro. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah. Yeah, we're getting so wet. Oh,
Yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day. The Native American Student Association held an event on UNT's campus today to celebrate their heritage. UNT annually celebrates Columbus Day. This year, however, the university recognized the celebration of Indigenous Peoples Day for the first time. UNT's president says this decision is to strengthen the university's commitment to support students from all backgrounds, and Native American students appreciated the change.
On October 15th every year at the university, and we're really happy that it's here. It just gives us a chance to kind of take back the holiday that celebrates genocide and violence and, you know, just kind of make it our own.
Dallas just recently passed a ruling that changed Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. The UNT celebration will happen every year on October 15th.
Plano's Liberty Playground is a new inclusive addition to the community. The vast majority of city playgrounds are not built to accommodate children of all abilities, but I had the chance to see how this one is different. Parks are a place for kids to play and enjoy with family and friends, but a specific group has been left out of this fun. A new playground located at Windhaven Meadows Park is disability friendly for the enjoyment of all children. Liberty Playground covers 20,000 square feet and has universally accessible features that offer 40% sensory and 60% physical play activities. Kids can enjoy musical instruments, a wheelchair-accessible seesaw, slides, and even a dog park.
For someone like me, I growing up, I've always enjoyed playgrounds, and I love people really embracing differences, and I think the most enjoyable part is to see all abilities of people of diverse backgrounds, and at a playground we're there to have fun and play.
The goal for this park was to make a playground for children of all abilities to play together and promote inclusion to the community. Some parents feel as if this is something that the community needed and is long overdue.
We came here on opening day with her class. I really think it's nice here. By them having this park, I feel like it's amazing. It gives everybody the opportunity to feel equal and united onto one. It's really nice, big and spacious and great. It's perfect.
And it's perfect.
Boston says her daughter's school has already planned field trips for her entire class to visit the playground throughout the school year. The City of Plano and Liberty Mutual Insurance put in $1 million each to pay for the playground. Sneakers are once again at the center of the debate over who is right. Social media is going crazy over the color of the shoes. The debate about the color of these shoes has been going on since they was first posted online in 2017. And before that, the dress debate took over the internet in 2015. Experts say these illusions boil down to our genes and how those impact our own perspectives of lights and colors.
That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for NT Daily News.